All right. Daniel, this is we go from grabbing life by the ball to the end of it all.
Yes. Yeah. So my solo review for the spirit of the holiday season, I watched, or I should say, I rewatched because I've seen this movie before. But John Carpenter's Prince of Darkness, which is the second movie in Carpenter's quote unquote apocalypse trilogy. The other ones being The Thing and In the Mouth of Madness. They're not connected to each other. It's just
I was about to ask until
yeah,
you mentioned the thing. It's like, oh, okay, yeah, no.
yeah, yeah. They're basically just movies that take place at the end of the world. And this movie, I'll have to pull up it's got a very pretty big cast of characters in it, but um, it's kind of a interesting little merging of science and religion, where so the movie starts off where this priest from a Catholic order called the Order of Sleep, he passes away, and we meet this other priest who's played by Donald Pleasance. Donald Pleasance has been in. He was around for a long time. He played Blofeld in You Only Live Twice. It was a James Bond movie, which probably mentioned in our next review.
He was in Puma Man as the villain. Which, if you say what the hell is Puma Man, that's the right answer. It means you didn't
Yes.
watch a whole bunch of Mystery Science Theater.
Yeah. uh, yeah, and yeah, that's in the so bad it's good category there. And of course, he was in Carpenter cast him in a lot of movies. Not just this one, but of course, he was in the Halloween franchise. He was the president in Escape from New York. But yeah, so he finds out that the priest from this Catholic order, Pleasance finds out that there's a secret in this church in a very kind of not so nice part of LA. And so he enlists the help of a theoretical physicist who's a professor named Professor Howard Bierek, who's played by Victor Wong. And he was in another Carpenter movie, Big Trouble in Little China, as well as another actor who's one of his students, Dennis Dunn, who he was kind of like the quote unquote sidekick character in Big Trouble in Little China. So basically, he enlists all of his students, as well as students from other departments in this university, to go to this church. And they find in the basement of this church is this giant, very old container filled with this green sludge that's like just kind of spinning around. And they come to find out that the sludge is actually the titular Prince of Darkness, the devil himself. And the movie kind of does a lot of plays fast and loose with Christian theology. One way they do that is that Jesus was an alien.
Okay, whatever you were going to say, I was not expecting that.
Yeah, that was a little. Yeah, that part really got to me. And the whole thing was that it's the plot's kind of, it's a little like that. There's a lot of explanation through expository dialogue, where because I mean it's about a bunch of people trapped in one place, because Carpenter wanted to do a movie that was a little more low budget and in a singular location after his with his experience making The Thing and Big Trouble in Little China, because both those movies flopped, and he hated working with the studios, so he wanted to do a movie on his own. But yeah, like they find out that like basically the Christian faith was kind of like not really what we've been told it was, and they're basically, they're going through this book and they're finding like differential equations in there, even though like we hadn't discovered differential equations at that time that the book was written. So they basically figure out like they're getting like messages from the future, especially through dreams. And of course, the whole thing culminates with the fact that the Prince of Darkness is rising and is about to take form, and he's about to bring his father into our world, because Satan is like the son of the big baddie. There's like somebody worse than him, and he's bringing him into our world, and that's basically the whole thing. And all the science, the third act in the movie kind of turns into a titular, kind of like a typical slasher zombie kind of movie, where because like a whole bunch of the scientists get possessed, and there's a lot of running around and bashing heads and stuff, but not it's not really horribly well. There's one part where like someone's head gets cut off, but I mean, actually two scenes of that. But I mean, it's if you kind of overlook some of the religious, the what do I want to say, the misinterpretations of religion or the changing of Christianity, and you just kind of look at it from just kind of like just a pure like thriller kind of thing. It's I mean, it's a good movie. It's not Carpenter's best movie. For me, that would be a toss between either Big Trouble in Little China or Escape from New York. But I mean,
over The Thing also being up there just for the sheer crazy creature effects.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah. But yeah, I mean, this movie's, I mean, it's a decent enough plot, and there's kind of a good scene in there with Victor Wong's character and Donald Pleasant's character, where they're kind of discussing, because you got a man of faith and a man of science, and he's describing, Victor Wong's describing how, like, he basically kind of tells him, maybe he said basically your religion's right, but it's there every, he kind of talked about how like every particle there's an anti-particle. So like the Prince of Darkness is the anti, is anti-God. So there is a God particle. So it kind of, they're trying to kind of merge the two worlds there, but I do have a hard time getting past the whole Jesus was an alien thing. Just
right, because so in Christian theology, if Jesus isn't who he claimed he was, then no, the religion isn't ultimately right. Right,
exactly.
Like anything else that the scientist was saying, like that would just be cope, basically.
Yeah. And there's even a scene where like Donald Pleasant's character, where one of the scientists dies, and he's giving him the last rites, but then he stops because he's like, oh, there's no point. Like, oh, okay.
Well, what a delightful message. But
yeah, I know, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's it's a yeah, like I said, like if you're into, although if you're a John Carpenter fan, you've probably already seen this movie. But I mean, it's, if you find it on streaming anywhere, it might be worth a watch for you. I mean, I have it on Blu-ray actually, but that's where I watched it. But I've seen it pop up on streaming services every now and then, like Amazon or Shudder.
So ultimately, it sounds like it's a totally reasonable time.
Yes, yeah.
Not amazing, but you don't feel like you had your time stolen.
Right, exactly. Yeah.